Hello and welcome to this special NewsMobile broadcast. I'm Saurabh Shukla and we are broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. in a day of hectic developments when we thought that the agreement to end the hostilities along the India-Pakistan border and the line of control will stand. Pakistan has again violated the terms of these agreement and the ceasefire which was agreed to, that's not holding. A short while back, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri also announced that the ceasefire or the agreement is not holding, and Indian forces are now have been authorized to retaliate to the Pakistani drones and the Pakistani artillery of shelling at the Indian positions. I want to tell our viewers that the understanding that was reached following heavy diplomatic negotiations yesterday, where the whole premise was that the Pakistanis actually approached the international community, including the US leaders, saying that they wanted India to agree to an agreement of a ceasefire. In good faith, India had agreed to it, but we had put our conditions very clear that India reserves the right to retaliate. Also, if there is any attack from the Pakistani side, India will retaliate. That's what is happening now, that India is retaliating because of the violation by the Pakistani side on this ceasefire. Now in Pakistan, it's in some ways a puppet government of Shehbaz Sharif. The real control rests with the Pakistani army, which certainly is the main force behind continued terrorism against India and across the globe. You saw after India's strikes on Pakistani terror infrastructure, it was the Pakistani army who were going and attending the funeral of the slain terrorist leaders, including the mastermind of IC 814 hijack. What India did was create a new strategic doctrine by hitting deep inside Pakistani territory. And now a precedent has been set up that anytime Pakistan dares to mount a terror attack against Indian targets, we will go ahead and strike deep inside Pakistani territory. So that doctrine has been established. World recognizes India's right to retaliate in self-defense. That's what is happening now. I do know from my sources, I don't want to give you operational details, but operation is on in order to make sure that we take on Pakistan's this transgression very seriously. India, as you know, acted like a responsible power. We went along with the global diplomacy in good faith. But now that Pakistan has violated this, and in any case, there were enough and more skeptics. I myself, as a strategic analyst, believe that Pakistan cannot be trusted. In the past too, after every terror attack, they have sought to engage India diplomatically, tried India to scale back and then attacked India again. This time again, that seems to be the norm, but things are different. We have a decisive leadership led by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have decided that we will not so-called red lines that were drawn in strategic terms. In strategy, it's very important to have a whole a whole calibrated view. A lot of people asking me, why shouldn't we go to a full-fledged war? India is a responsible country, believes that we have to take calibrated steps. We are not the aggressor here. It's Pakistan which is the aggressor, and the entire world realizes it. We have to work on a multi-pronged approach, and we will do that. So what's really going to happen in the next few hours is going to be very crucial. One, we will continue to mount this military offensive to take on Pakistan's constant violation of the ceasefire. The armed forces have been authorized to go ahead and do it. That's one. Second thing, we will continue our diplomatic offensive to isolate Pakistan, both here in Washington, D.C. and other parts of the world. The world has realized it and our position. And third, we will continue to hold back Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, make sure that we revisit that. Diplomatic scale down that we announced continues. Also, we will try to squeeze Pakistan economically. The other thing which you as citizens have to be very careful about is the constant Pakistani disinformation propaganda that has been unleashed through their media, through a lot of handles on social media. So just be careful. Do follow NewsMobile's fact check coverage. We have a series of fact checks on our platform. I urge you to follow that. Go to www.newsmobile.in. Also, make sure that any post that you think needs to be fact checked, you can send it to us on that email ID, or also tag us on social media platforms, including X on News Mobile India, or tag me at I Saurabh Shukla or Saurabh Shukla Journal on Instagram. Idea is to bring to you a crystal clear coverage without any biases, purely objective. Our objective here is that India is a peace loving country. It wants peace. Indian people want to live in peace, but it is the Pakistani terror machinery which continues to bleed India. And what India did not only was for India, but for anybody across the globe who was impacted by the Pakistan sponsored terrorism. And this is a fight that India is fighting not for our country, for every citizen across the globe who has been impacted from Pakistan sponsored terrorism. It's no coincidence that from Osama bin Laden to every major terror attack across the globe has the Pakistani linkage, and that continues. Behind this continues to be Pakistani army and its rogue agency ISI, and we need to defeat that as citizens of a civilized world. India will never want war. War alone is not the answer, but India will continue to strike back to safeguard its national interest. That's what's going to happen. Make sure that you follow only fact check news. Stay tuned to News Mobile, and we will be back with more coverage. But for now, India has decided to retaliate against Pakistan's violation of a ceasefire. And Pakistanis, as you know, the past pattern is that they cannot be trusted. So India will continue to trust but verify. That's the mantra that we are following on. But you should follow trusted coverage by News Mobile. Thanks for watching.